谢谢大家，各位榜儿东的选民，新加坡的朋友们，晚上好。有一位旅客曾经对我说：“我以为新加坡是一个富裕的国家，但是为什么我在新加坡见到很多老年人在做打扫工作，收集碗碟？”各位，你们觉得这是我们应该引以为荣或者能接受的事实吗？当然，我引用这个例子，并不是要唱衰我们新加坡，而是因为我觉得，作为一个所谓的第一世界国家，我们有义务尽我们的能力，使新加坡的长者们可以舒适的养老，而不是把他们视为一场银色的海啸。人口老化虽然带了有一些挑战，可是这不代表我们的公公、婆婆、父母是一个沉重的负担。这不代表我们可以把他们送到柔佛州养老就一了百了。我们所要达到的目标，是能让我们的年老者能够安心享老。工人党觉得能采纳几种途径来达到我们的目标。第一，让想要继续工作的乐龄新加坡人能够有比较多样化、有意义的工作选择。第二，让老年人在经济上有足够的退休条件。第三，采取适当的投资和计划，让老年人有美好的退休，而还能继续反馈给社会与社群。还有，我们应该鼓励企业把握商机，来为这些快速增长的银色工业服务进取共赢。我希望行政党能够好好继续反省，采取足够的措施及政策，继续建设一个可让新加坡充满信心的去面对人口老化的社会，迈向一个黄金岁月。掌握民权，把握未来，请投我们工人党一票，谢谢。Dear voters of Punggol East, fellow Singaporeans, good evening. My name is Ting Ru, and I'm one of the candidates for Marine Parade GRC. Tonight, I would like to speak about something that is close to my heart: the opportunities and challenges presented by a society that is aging. A few years ago, we heard day in, day out from the PAP about the impending silver tsunami and how we must guard against it. Mr. Lee Hsien Loong himself said, "We are going to have a silver tsunami coming, and we need a national effort to plan ahead to be ready for it, so that it does not wash us away." Let me repeat that. They think that our old people will wash us away, that we will all drown in a tidal wave of old people. Do you believe that old people are like a flash flood ready to wash us away? Perhaps the PAP heard that big, loud no. Because I noticed in 2014, our Health Minister Gan Kim Yong said that we should change our mindset from worrying about the challenges that come from aging to celebrating longevity. Finally, the government is trying to work on changing its own mindset. It has always been the WP's strong belief that we celebrate longevity. The Workers' Party and our MPs have always believed that we must plan ahead for an older population. But more importantly, we see an older population as a triumph. It is something to be celebrated. We also believe that an older society represents opportunities for our country. Some people have asked me, "You are a young grasshopper. Why are you so interested in issues concerning the elderly?" My answer to that is this. Elderly issues are issues that concern us all, young and old, because the older generation are our parents, they are our grandparents. Also because we all get old one day, and because we owe our elders a debt. And so, our elderly now and in the future must be empowered to enjoy their older years. As I was doing my walkabouts in Marine Parade GRC, residents from places such as Lorong Lew Lian, Joo Seng, and Serangoon tell me that they are an aging estate, that there are many old people who live there. Some of them told me that they are extremely rooted and happy in their current communities. This all sounds very good, but a lot of the older people actually feel left behind in the new Singapore. The elderly residents tell me they are worried about the large-scale developments to be launched in their estates. They are worried about what will happen when the former Bidadari cemetery is turned into yet more high-density housing. They are worried about what would happen when the Paya Lebar airport gets redeveloped and the height restrictions for buildings are removed. They are worried about how these new changes and flats and shopping centres will affect their neighbourhoods, will affect their lives. Would it lead to unsustainable congestion? Would they lose the open spaces and facilities they have come to cherish? Would life for them become too expensive because of these changes? Has the government done enough to address these worries? I believe many older Singaporeans feel the same. The number of Singaporeans aged above 65 is expected to triple from 300,000 to 900,000 in 2030. This is why we believe in two key prongs to tackle an aging population. One, to empower our elderly, and two, to seize the opportunities presented by an aging society. We must empower our older Singaporeans, firstly by giving them access to quality jobs. Second, we must ensure retirement adequacy for older Singaporeans. Finally, we would like our seniors to age in a meaningful manner and continue contributing to our society and community. The Workers' Party believes that having quality jobs for older workers who can and wish to work is key towards a successful population policy based on a strong Singapore core. We call for the government and businesses to change their mindset. This will help them tap on invaluable skills and experience from more senior workers. The PAP government talks a lot about how well they have done to create jobs for the elderly. Do you believe that? The reality is that too many older Singaporeans still work in low-wage, physically demanding jobs. Despite long hours, they still struggle to make ends meet. I am very sure a lot of them do not do it for exercise. Age discrimination still prevails in many industries. To tackle this, the Workers' Party calls for accelerated workplace and job redesign for a senior workforce. We want to make it mandatory for large companies to implement workplace and job redesign for senior workers. We call for annual surveys to track employment of senior workers in various industries. This will identify gaps and areas where they are underemployed. This will identify sectors and companies where age discrimination is an issue, where older people find it very difficult to get jobs. For retirement adequacy, we call for the CPF eligibility payout age to be lowered to 60, whether or not the member is working. So, you can start receiving CPF money earlier if you choose to do so. We call for the Silver Support Scheme and CPF Life payouts to be linked to and adjusted for inflation, so that older Singaporeans are given some protection against the increasing cost of living. As for meaningful aging, just last week, the Ministerial Committee on Aging announced a $3 billion action plan for successful aging. Finally, this is welcome. This is long overdue. Over the years, WP MPs have made repeated calls for more investments in Singaporeans and older Singaporeans. I seem to recall that when WP MPs asked for more to be done for Singaporeans, they were sometimes attacked and mocked by PAP MPs. Funny how suddenly we have a new fund being announced, huh? Even as we ensure that there are enough funds for aging meaningfully, the schemes and programs must be effective. They must reach and empower enough Singaporeans to do so. More Singaporeans, young and old, must be involved in this from a ground-up approach. To this end, we should continue exploring some of the suggestions our MPs have raised previously, which include the setting up of an elderly development account and getting more older Singaporeans involved in their communities. Older Singaporeans can work or volunteer in schools to teach subjects such as social studies or national education. This is a good way to encourage cross-generational sharing and learning. Moving on to my final point, the Workers' Party manifesto proposes helping local firms become globally competitive in key sunrise industries. With all countries in the world facing an aging population, there are many economic opportunities to be had and explored for products and services targeted towards an elderly market. We can only do all of the above where our elderly are not worried about making ends meet, when our elderly are not worried about too rapid changes in their neighborhoods, and when our elderly are able to find quality jobs that pay them adequately. Only then can we fully reap such opportunities and benefits that come with an older, more confident population wrapped around an older, more confident Singapore core. I hope that one day we will be able to truly say that we are at a golden age for Singapore, where our people are empowered to age confidently and meaningfully. Empower your future. Vote for the Workers' Party. Thank you.